issues and headlines across the national newspapers. I'm sure some of you have already picked up a few, but if you haven't, let's all level up at this time. My name is Obi Ivy, and this is the Super Breakfast Show. All right, so I do have an analyst joining me on the program today. And joining me to discuss this is George Chinda. How are you doing, sir? Good morning.
Good morning, listeners.
I hope you had a great weekend.
Very well.
All right. So if you've just tuned in, this is the review, and on the program is a political, social, and economic analyst and commentator, George Azunda Chinda. All right. So let's head straight to the first gist and the first headline today. It says, Presidency, Buhari not part of plot to draft Jonathan into race. But I saw a different report that says Jonathan missing as 28 or I think 18 aspirants line up for APC primaries. What do you make of the story?
Well, from the beginning, when the rumors started surfacing, I have never been part of those people who believe that Jonathan could be given that ticket. There has never been any sign that he was a member of APC or even wanted to run. People were the ones scheduling him because of their selfish interests. The reason was that the North, from what we gathered, a few persons, not the North per se, just a few persons who are of the North, wanted Jonathan to come back for another 4 years, knowing fully well that after 4 years he will be statute barred from contesting. They wanted to give back the power because the clamor that power must rotate between North and South has been there. So they want to look for someone who is from the South that will do for 4 years, and after which, the power will turn to the North. So this scheming had been on, and they know that PDP, according to from their own permutation, may not actually give Jonathan the ticket. So they were looking for a way to draft him into APC. These were just few persons. Along the line, it was obvious that the ticket was not going to get to him, because from that headline there, Buhari distanced himself from such kind of scheming. These were just a few persons within the presidency who were trying to see how this could happen. But unfortunately, from the list that just came out of the presidential aspirant under the platform of APC, Jonathan's name was conspicuously missing. So that thing is dead on arrival.
All right, dead on arrival. EFCC uncovers another 90 billion naira fraud against Accountant General. My brother, please, I want to hear your comments on this one.
This is really a problem. It's really a problem. If eventually that is the truth, then, of course, the law must take its course. Because some of these, both civil servants and politicians, are just too wicked to the Nigerian people. Imagine what one person is actually holding. We're talking about our collective patrimony, because he found himself in a position of authority. Instead of taking advantage of his position to better the lots of the Nigerian people, he instead took those money for himself. We are talking about billions of naira, not even millions, not in thousands. We are talking about billions, in billions of naira. So the law should take its course. The law, that's just what I have to say. The law should take its course. The money should be retrieved from him, and it should be sent behind the bars to serve as deterrent to others.
Interesting. Okay, so Ayim Ghana Obi Okowa, others congratulate Atiku, and Tinubu congratulates Atiku also, says, I look forward to squaring up with him.
Okay. It is what I understand from that, especially from the angle of Tinubu, is just trying to do what is necessary so that to downplay whatever issue that people may think that politicians are daggers drawn. It is normal for him to congratulate whoever emerges, and he is also confident that he's going to emerge from the APC, that he's looking forward to squaring up with him in the general election. It's just to downplay or to de-escalate, whatever tension that people may think that people from APC or in fact across the party lines, do not see eyeball to eyeball. Then, as for the other Kowa and the rest of them, it is necessary. It is expected. An exercise has just been concluded and a winner emerged. So the next thing that should follow is to congratulate the winner, which hope to working together for the general election.
All right. Now this next one says APC weighs options and PDP supporters make a case for Wike as Atiku shops for running mate?
It is ideal, if you ask me, given the fact that Governor Nyesom Wike has been very, important for the PDP in the last couple of years. We are all witnesses to how PDP lost the election to Buhari in 2015, and thereafter, the party went comatose. Many of those big wigs, including including Atiku, who had just emerged as the flag bearer of the party, left the party. They left the party, but Nyesom Wike has remained there all this while, doing all what he needs to do to ensure that the party remains strong. So, having lost the presidential primary to Atiku and giving his weight is important to the party in all areas. I think the ideal thing to do is to, compensate him with the VP-ship. Not just compensation and the fact that he lost, but because he has something to offer. This is someone you cannot, do away with in the party. He has the support base. He has everything going for him. He's also a grassroots politician. So if Atiku chooses him as a VP, chooses him as a vice presidential candidate, what that means is that the PDP is quite certain, to an extent, in the south, of mustering the votes that is required to win the 2023 general election.
Alrighty. So let's move on. If you've just tuned in, this is Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt, and we are reviewing the headlines. We're reviewing stories that have made the front pages of the different national newspapers. And soon enough, we're going to be taking your comments, but rush now to our social media handles because we'll give precedence, we'll give preference as well to those who will comment and those who are already commenting via the social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Super FMPH, but on Instagram at Super FM 93.3. Leave your comment, and as I always say, it will be the first thing I take when the time is set. Joining me to review the headlines is Azunda Chinda George, and we've been looking at some very interesting stories. All right, so let's just make headway right now. Let's make some progress. This headline I find quite disturbing. It says 4 siblings nabbed for cultism and murder. Ogun government blames parents.
Cultism and murder.
Yes, 4 siblings, 4 children from the same parents.
Where did this happen, please?
In Ogun State.
Okay, I must tell you that Nigeria has a lot of social problems, which cultism is one of street cultism. Sometimes the way we define the cultism, people misunderstand it, but in the context that it is used, we all know that it has to do with street gangsterism. That's what I call it. These are gangsters in the streets, who are trying to battle for supremacy and all of that. Later on, important things could actually lead to a problem and snowball into the kind of crisis you have where people are killed and all of that. All these things is also boils down to the leadership of the failure of the leadership of the nation. So many people, seek refuge in things that ordinarily they should not, simply because that is where they find joy. Imagine someone who is not able to go to school, or who has gone to school but do not have hope of a job and all of that. So they find refuge in some of those street gangsterism dealings and all of that. Before you know it, it leads to death. So the government must bear the full weight of, instrumentality of force, to ensure that these criminals are taken out of the way. What do I mean? They must come out fully, get these guys arrested. The laws are there, get them arrested. A criminal is a criminal. He must not hide under the guise of cultism or whatever to perpetrate criminality, and you think that you go scot-free. No, the government must bear a full weight on this matter, ensure that those perpetrators are arrested, taken out of circulation, and locked up somewhere. They must be tried according to the laws of the land. If they are found guilty, whatever the court decides, should ensure that it should be carried out, implemented fully. That's what I have to say.
All right.
There's no room for criminality, be it cultism or gangsterism or whatever. There's no room for criminality. Anybody who is a criminal should be dealt with accordingly.
All right. Anyone who's a criminal be dealt with accordingly. Terrorists no longer threatening to kill train passengers. And this is from the negotiator.
Please let me get that back.
Terrorists no longer threatening to kill train passengers. And that's what the negotiator is saying.
Where did they make this statement?
What do you mean?
I hear something like a negotiator.
Yes.
So there's someone negotiating between the Nigerian government and the criminal, the bandits.
So it appears.
Okay. Whatever it will take the government to de-escalate the problem and ensure there is security on the road track for people to move from one point to another is welcome for me. Challenges are intractable. You know, even in developed countries where you feel they have everything going for them, there are still people who wakes up one day, like mass shooting and things like that. These things are something that from time to time will continue to happen. So whatever means that the government must use to secure that spark from terrorist attack, banditry, and all of that, it is a welcome idea. So it's a suiting news kind of, because people need to move. People need to move. But again, on the other hand, it must not be, as a government must not be operating from the angle of weakness. Government must not be negotiating from the angle of weakness where these terrorists will be calling the shots and dictating the pace. No. Government must ensure that, the reason why I talked about, negotiating in that form, it has to do with carrot and stick. Sometimes it's not about force. Because these women, they may have their grievances, whether rightly or wrongly. So let's see how we can de-escalate, bring everybody on the table, and have a way forward where these things will not be coming up. But like I said, government must not negotiate on the strength of weakness. They must not negotiate from the angle of weakness, rather. They must be at the top of the situation where they will have the advantage. They will call the shots.
All right. Our next story says, I'll give you two stories back to back, and you can comment as quickly as you possibly can. Now, this one says, Obiano's wife wins ABGA senatorial tickets. We know who Obiano's wife is, the one who, the slapper. Yes, the slapper during that slapping saga. And this other one here says, 2023 presidency, Ohanese's chieftain, Southern Middle Belt leaders reject Atiku's emergence.
Well, what I see playing out is that people understood that the PDP had a zoning formula before this time. The zoning formula was between the north, rotates between the north and the south. So the north have had power for a while, and even the last election, it was Atiku who contested under the north. Now that the turn has supposed to shift to the south, what was he still coming to do? So people were not happy that he came out. Unfortunately, the leadership of the PDP, instead of standing on that gentleman's agreement of power rotation between the north and the south, they decided to throw it open. And Atiku, being one of the old folks, political folks, who is well accepted in political circle, he decided to throw his hat into the ring and eventually clinches the ticket. So I believe that it could be one of the reasons why agitations are here and there, pockets of agitations, rejecting his candidacy, because he has violated that zoning arrangements that the PDP had.
I quite understand you. There are some people who think that this may also affect the outcome of the APC primaries. That in two ways, it could be that the APC may decide to uphold the zoning, maybe not verbally, maybe not, categorically, but it may just affect them to say, well, let's find a southern candidate because that way we're going to be guaranteed support from the south, from the southeast, and all of that. Or it may just affect them in such a way that they may also bring a northern candidate to make it, more solidified that power is going back to the north. Because a lot of people just think, there are postulations. I agree with you, but a lot of people just feel like, well, there's some undertone, some agreements with the Northerners to say, I mean, no matter what happens, we will vote along ethnic and, if you like, religious lines?
Well, all these are possibilities. So let me start by saying that the APC, all this why part of the reasons why they have been delaying is to find out where the party we choose. I mean, the PDP will choose their candidates from. So all these are part of factors that could sway, the delegates and even the leadership of the party in choosing who becomes their candidates. Because whether you like it or not, there are those determining factors. Those factors that determine electoral outcome in Nigeria. You cannot wish it away until you got there. But for now, we've not gotten there. Things like religion, voting along religious lines, voting along tribal lines, voting along party lines, and all those things. These are all factors that determine electoral outcome. So sometimes the permutation may be, okay, PDP has chosen a northerner who is acceptable over that place, over the north. Now, who are they choosing? Although before now, APC has zeroed in on the southern candidates, it was a unanimous decision taken by the leadership of the party. Their power returned back to the south. And there are fourth line aspirants such as Rotimi Amechi, Tinubu, and the others who are from the south. We have only just one of the candidates from the north. I'm talking about a renowned candidate from the north, by the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan. So these are all permutations that they are looking at, who will be able to withstand Atiku and all of that. But the party had already come to take a decision before now. So if they decide to go back, considering what had just happened in the PDP, to say, okay, we need a northern candidate who is acceptable to be able to match Atiku and all of that, it will appear that the party is not serious because they have already taken a decision before now. And moreover, if they have their supporters, they should be able to educate them. Those ones who are from the south have also worked and supported those like Buhari, who is from the north. So these are part of the things that is playing out and delaying the process. In fact, because of all this, INEC had to shift the deadline for submission of names. It is because of the APC. INEC had to shift the goalpost at the middle of the game, which is very wrong.
This brings me to one report that says all of these things show that INEC is not really independent. It shows that INEC is not independent.
What would you really have them, become dependent? In reality, I'm not talking about on papers. In reality, we live in Nigeria. Who is actually dependent of anything? We are talking about a country where individuals are stronger than institutions. Individuals, as the president of the Federation, you have enormous powers. So sometimes you bring your influence. What is power? The definition of power is the ability to make a person or people do things ordinarily they wouldn't want to do. That is influence. That is power. So the moment someone has power and he is the appointing authority, he appoints you. Sometimes instead of looking at the books, you try to pacify the man who appoints you. That's the Nigeria we have today. That's Nigeria we've always had. So until that time where we have a leader who will streamline some of all these things, ensure that the institutions are more stronger than the individual like we have in the US, then you can say that INEC is 100% independent. But for now, to an extent, they are not dependent. Even some of the actions they take affect the outcomes of elections sometimes. So, but the beating will continue until Mura improves.
All right. So let's just take the last story for between the two of us. Now, this one is quite an emotional story. It says, an ailing grandma in Lagos says to Lagos government, pay my 1.9 million naira pension arrears before I die.
Unfortunately, see, part of what I'm talking, I just talked about now, about institutions not being strong enough, If not, what will make I don't know the area. I don't know is the man a civil servant?
Yes, she's a retired civil servant, a woman actually.
Okay.
91-year-old woman, and she's been owed arrears to the tune of 1.9 million naira.
So she calculated her arrears from when she retired to these days to amount to the amount she's talking about.
Yeah, the reason the story is relevant is because we have pensioners who can totally relate in River State. You know, she's 91 years old, and she's closer to the grave, than most people. And she's saying, pay me my arrears. I mean, think about it. It may just be what her family will depend on for her burial.
Okay, it still boils down to what I have been saying about institutions not being strong enough. If not, why would such a person be owed to that amount? Owed that amount to the age the person died. So the ideal thing to do at this point is to ensure that this person is paid this money. This is about his last wish. They should ensure they get this money to pay. For someone of that age to still remember, I mean, the government should do, the Lagos State government should ensure that this money is gotten and paid to this man before he dies. It's about his last wish. I mean, every worker deserves his or her wage. So why should they owe this person up till now? So this thing should not even be debated in any way. The government of Lagos should ensure that they get this man's arrears and pay to him. That will keep him alive further. The moment he sees this money, there will be some level of happiness that will engulf him. So owing him up to that amount and up till now, after so many years of retirement, shows the kind of bad leadership we've had in this country. There are things you don't joke with. You don't joke with people's salaries. You don't joke with that. If the government cannot fund it, they should downsize. We know that they are downsized, but you cannot allow people to work after working for years and you be owing them. It's not acceptable by me.
All right, thank you. All right. At this time, we're just going to open the phone lines, but don't forget, I'll first be taking reactions on social media. So go on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at SuperFMPH, at SuperFMPH, and drop a comment because we have all the stories lined up as well on our social media. On Instagram, find us at SuperFM 93.3. Super FM 93.3. Let me quickly just do a recap and then run through some of the headlines that we didn't talk about. Now, the first one, presidency, Buhari not part of plot to draft Jonathan into race. EFCC uncovers another 90 billion naira fraud against Accountant General. Ayim, Ghana, Obi, Okowa, others congratulate Atiku. Tinubu congratulates Atiku, says, I look forward to squaring up with him. Obiano's wife wins ABGA senatorial ticket. Okada riders set 2 houses ablaze in Abuja. Methodist Church prelate Uche, 2 others kidnapped in Abuja. Terrorists no longer threatening to kill train passengers. This is by negotiators. 4 siblings nabbed for cultism, murder. Ogun government blames parents. Atiku defeats Wike, becomes PDP presidential candidate. Tambuwa, I will work with Atiku for PDP's victory. CBN rallies banks to support Nigerian firms to expand forex earnings. Bayelsa West YPP candidate vows to defeat Dixon. 2023 presidency, Ohanese's chieftain, Southern Middle Belt leaders reject Atiku's emergence. YPP Guba aspirant promises education, employment, entrepreneurship to Rivers people. ASUP suspends strike, directs members to resume today. Rivers, call Fuwara win APC PDP Guba tickets as Abe surrenders. MPC raising interest rates will reduce loanable funds for investments, and this is coming from economists. COVID-19, NAFDAC approves 2 herbal drugs for clinical trial. Extended primaries deadline as metaphor for INEC's eroded independence. 365 days to Buhari's exit. Nigerians decry poor governance, worsening insecurity. Atiku's candidacy, pro-zoning forces angry, slam PDP and Tambuwa. Jonathan, not APC member, says party's vice chairman. Nigeria to continue enjoying preferential access to U.S. markets, and this one is by the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria. Monkeypox, NCDC confirms 1 death and 21 cases in Nigeria. Amechi condoles victims of stampede in River State. Ailing grandma in Lagos to Lagos government, pay my 1.9 million naira pension arrears before I die. PDP supporters make case for Wike as Atiku shops for running mates. Primaries, 14 senators, 23 reps lose re-election tickets. And finally, cabal benefiting from petroleum imports and frustrating local refineries. And this is by Ipman. At this time, I will be taking your reactions, and I'll first be looking at the ones on Facebook. Chile Edwin says the federal government is not serious about the security of Nigerians if they will be so patient negotiating with criminals rather than taking the war to them. Tinubu congratulating Atiku Abubakar shows how desperate that Tinubu is, but he will not be the president of Nigeria because he lacks conscience, being a Yoruba from the southwest that has ruled Nigeria for 16 years as president and vice president at the end of Buhari's tenure. Now that Atiku Abubakar has defeated Wike, the Rivers elders should gather now to deliberate on how to recover the funds wasted on this wasteful venture rather than using it to better the lives of Rivers people. And finally, he says, Rivers, Cole, and Fubara win Guba tickets as Magnus Abe surrenders. This is unbelievable, and Abe can never surrender. Wow. All right, we'll take some more comments on Twitter, but for now, phone lines are 07050791021 and 08117431021. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Governor James Gray.
All right, please, sir, make it very brief. Go ahead.
Let me say that first, my heart goes to those who lost their life in Port Harcourt as a minister also concerned with them. Let me quickly react that Governor Wike losing the election, the primary, it was not a surprise to me because I have listened to most of the governors in this town. They are allegedly accused the governor of a bully during the early stage of this whole political arrangement. And going forward to the national election that still lost Atiku, the primary election still lost Atiku, is not a surprise to me at all because you can see how people are suffering in Rivers State when you will be donating 200 million, 300 million, 400 million, 500 million to Sokoto and the rest, and the pensioners have not been paid, workers have not been promoted, hires have not been paid, creativity has not been paid, minimum wage has not been paid. And the result of it is that people will be hungry. And that is why the whole city went to get food in the church program. There are some people losing their lives. So how can such a person who win a primary election to become a president? Because the gods will not support him. And that is the result of it. So let him come home now, take governance. If you can now use the remaining 1 year to give good Rivers State good governance that they deserve over the 7 years they have ruled in Rivers State.
All right.
Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much, sir. We have another comment on Facebook. Kwakte Magnus says, APC Rivers and her differences. Be rest assured by the grace of God, come 2023, Senator Magnus Abe will be on the ballot and it will offer Rivers people the choice to vote for their conviction and to vote for quality leadership, industrialization, and economic stability. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Eddie from Port Harcourt.
Welcome to the review. Go ahead. You have a very short time. Please go ahead.
Yes, emergency of Atiku as flag bearer for PDP. What does it mean to the Southerners, including Southeast and South-South? Because I could remember the reason why Governor Wike fought second dose, tooth and nail, to make sure he removed him as PDP chairman is to take the chairmanship to the north. Why the presidency will come to the southern Nigeria? Then what plays out in that presidential seat? What? Who lose? Southeast have been supporting PDP since 1999. They would have done the presidency to the seat if they truly believe that one Nigeria exists in this country. Today, look at what played out. Politics of interest, they may call it. Tambawa betrayed Wike, even giving him 500 million naira last time that there is a fire incident in Sokoto. He betrayed his own friend because of politics of interest. He can see. We always say you look back when you are leading the crowd. Your money cannot do it. Your popularity cannot even do it. But today, it has played out. There is a betrayal in what happened. It's not a lesson for Governor Wike. It's not a lesson for PDP in the South-South and the South-East. It's quite unfortunate. It's a big slap for whoever called himself a PDP in the South-South and South-East. Very big slap. Let's see how it goes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment right there. 07050791021, 08117431021. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Good morning, my lady.
Good morning, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Chief Comrade.
Good to have you on the program. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, my lady, at school claims the PDP ticket, and Southern people crying for the zoning. Well, for me, the truth is that the Southerners have really sit down to check themselves. Like Governor Wike, who is the frontline PDP politician in South, that is starving his people. Governor Wike assumed office 2015. On that 2015, he dissolved RSSDA. That is River State Youth that has been fully employed. Immediately, he disbanded River State Road Management Authority, Timari, that has been gainfully employed. He did not say, oh, let me shift you people to other ministry. He sent them to the labor market. Look at the River State pensioners on a daily basis crying. Look at the civil servants on a daily basis crying. Their counterparts in other states, 2014-15, they're on level 9. They are now in level 12, level 13. The River State civil servants are still in that level they are. Pensioners' gratuity is not paid. There is no employment in the state, but the man is sharing money at the north. River State Act ended money that will be given to River State people. There is no entrepreneurship. There is no human capital development in the state. And you expect that such person will emerge as a president. And may God of River State will never allow such a person. Because this man has not carried it at heart. To become a president is not to become a River State governor. Men, people have to see the blueprint. People have to see the work you have put on ground.
Okay.
So I'm appealing to the Southern people to quickly move to APC and see how the incumbent Minister of Transportation will emerge as a presidential candidate. Let all of them queue behind him so that the presidency will come out. If not, for the next 8 years, we are going to cry wolf.
All right.
Thank you, my beloved
Thank
sister.
you
God
so
bless
much.
you.
Bless you too. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Good morning to you, my man who call you my sister. Let me maintain status quo. Good morning to you, my lady.
The real gift, welcome. Go ahead.
I cannot go find trouble by calling you my sister-in-law again. I beg. Good morning, my lady. And good morning to Mr. Azunda, I believe.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, for me, let me start this way. The Stampede in the Polo Club. They say charity, they start from house. For me, poverty is in the land, poverty there everywhere, as far as I'm concerned. My question is this. What did the church authorities do in terms of providing safety and protection for that event from the outset before the Stampede? I think management and what have you is part of it. And this is not be the first time they don't share food. Now the first time it is. Other churches have shared food or organizations have shared food before.
Well, this particular one, this is their fourth time. It's not even their first or second time.
And this is the first time we hear about Stampede.
This is the fourth time, yes.
That means something went wrong. And that is why I believe investigation will unravel what went wrong rather than pinning it on the government. Not the government cause poverty completely as far as I'm concerned. Or not be them gather every time I'm about to go there. Talking about the issue of Okada men. I'm saying it don't start like this, small, before you go know. But I've told you before, when the flood swallows the short persons, it will come for the tall ones. From Lagos, you don't enter Abuja, and we are still keeping quiet. I think it is high time the government puts their feet down on the ground and see how they can placate this issue. Because, for me, when it continues like this, it will look like that of the hand of a monkey meat in a pot of soup. So for me, take it out before someone talk about Siam. Or accuse you of using human hand to cook. And lastly, please, this issue of the North, I think at this point in time, I don't want to cry for anybody, because if I cry for somebody, who will come cry for me? When PDP decided to jettison the issue of zoning that they have put in place, whether gentleman or aggressive man agreement from 1999, that was when I knew that indeed, whatever people on this side of the divide are doing, they are just doing it on their own. Bottom line, like they say, Kupu, no be run. The governor,
All right.
he has gone. At the end of the day, he should re-strategize. Thank you
All right.
very much.
Thank you so much, The Real Gift. We have some comments on Twitter. This is coming from Umombe underscore Luda. He says, now he's reacting to Jonathan, not APC member, says party vice chairman. He says, now the party vice chairman own opinion be that it's the generality of the party stakeholders that will determine. Well, thank you very much. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Yeah, good morning, my sister.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Bright. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Welcome, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go to, first of all, let me congratulate Atiku Abubakar for his emergence as a PDP flag bearer. And congratulate those that lost to him, because it's for the party, for the growth of the party. At the same time, those that are calling names, this and that is why we keep saying it. It's better you throw it open, because these people, in politics, majority carry the vote. As it stands today, not our northern brothers, they see themselves as the majority when it comes to politics. That is why when other our governors from South were agitating for certain candidates, they refuse that zoning, because all of them are clamoring for primaries, because they know that when they go to primaries, they will carry the day. So my sister, it's not about joining APC. Even if all of us from this zone join APC party, it will not change anything. So what my prayer for the country is that let a better person emerge, person that will unite the country, something that will make the country better for us to live, not be castigated. Let me talk about stampede that happened. Stampede, I am surprised that people are blaming the state government on stampede that happened where church were sharing food. I don't understand. Everything we blame government. Everything we blame government. What government has to do there? People that went there to collect food, they cannot compose themselves. They cannot compose themselves. They were dragging. Stampede happened and people died. And you're blaming government. On what aspect?
Well,
so our people should learn lessons.
Do you also know that the poverty line has gone up? People living below $1, have increased. In fact, it's way less than $1 now because of how the naira has crashed.
Yes.
Who do you? It's not the state. It's not the state government. It is government in general. One caller was referring to Governor Wike, because men have lost election. He's not doing anything. That the workers have not promoted workers. You will agree that there is hunger in the land. There is hunger.
There is hunger in the land, my sister. When you go out, you see that it's hunger. You see the way people are begging food, begging money. The big men and women begging money, see that it's hunger. But you cannot blame the governor of the state or blame the state government, because the hunger, it was the federal government that caused the hunger.
It's everybody now. Government is government.
So please, I think that everybody channel their grievances to their state.
All right.
Instead of blaming our governor, please. You come from Imo State, you come from other state, channel your grievances to your state government. Don't come here and be insulting our governor, talking about food and hunger.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. All right, it's still the review, Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. Okay, good morning, Super FM. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
McConnell.
All right, McConnell, go ahead. Make it as brief as possible.
Actually, I just want to talk about the summary. Actually, it's just that these guys need to understand not how they cooperate. And I want us, we Southside, to also cooperate like them. You understand? So, but for now, we don't have any other choice than for we South-South, all the South-South top leaders, they should put hands together and support Chibike Rotimi Amaechi. They should support him. That's the only thing I have. They should support him. That's my take. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, McConnell. Appreciate that contribution right there. Super FM Port Harcourt.
Yeah, good morning, Spy FM.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thank you. I want to remain anonymous.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to call some of our people. You know, they are saying that PDP did not zone. The last president produced by PDP was from which zone?
It was from the north.
South. From South. The last president produced by PDP.
Well, the
South.
produced, you mean? Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yes, he's from South. And so if you are saying that they should respect zoning, PDP logically has respected the zoning arrangement. Because the last president they presented was from the South. And so if they want to follow the zone, they must go to the North. And if you begin to talk, the Uche Kuku, the Director General of Ohanes Indigo Worldwide, who is saying that they will not support this and this. When Ikwerema left Rivers State as the governor, when another Ikwerema come over and took over as the governor, why didn't he complain? You see, these people, they when he favors them, they talk. When he does not favor them, they talk. So the truth about it, I love what Governor Yosef Wike have done. Governor Yosef Wike did not go to PDP convention to say he wants to become governor because he was from the South. He said he has the capacity and power.
President,
and that's what I love about him. He has the capacity and power. He didn't say I was from the South. Vote for me. I'm from this. He said he has the capacity and power to liberate this country. And that's what I love about him. So let people not come and tell you this. Whether they will vote. They are going to pick a presidential vice president from the Southeast or from South, anywhere. And PDP will win. Because we cannot go back and continue with what this APC government is doing. It's not possible. We cannot do that. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that one. Okay, so I'll be beginning to round up with this conversation right now, so we can bring you the review, the issue rather, at 9:00. But I think I still have time for one or two more phone calls. 0705 0791021 and 081-174-31021. Good morning.
Good morning, Super FM.
Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt. Who do I have on the line?
My name is Oscar MMM, calling from Obi.
Oscar MMM, go ahead, sir.
Talking about the politician and the hearing of Atiku winning Wike. No, it's a game of politics, you know. In Nigeria, somebody must defeat one. And you can never compare the governor to the speed of that. And all of them are one. They know themselves. Even in the sitting of the table, they know that one person will win. So let's not brag over the issue that lost. He never lost, but until we support. For the distance you wake up, knowing that the Northerners are very strong in politics.
All right.
And we, our governor in this hour, is supporting them more than we as individuals. So that's why I say we should know that politics is the game, and it belongs to them. They sit round table and plan it.
All right. Thank you very much. Our last caller, good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Thank you, my lady.
Yes, sir.
Be as brief as a briefcase.
All right, the real gift, yes.
They say if you don't go close to the palm tree, you won't know a fruit on that tree that is ripe. Talking about the issue of bandits have agreed not to kill any of the persons in their custody.
At least they are not threatening to do so now.
Threatening to do so now. That means if it happens say tomorrow, then do so. According to negotiators.
They may start to threaten again.
For me, I think the earlier they do with this issue, the better. Because don't forget that every day this person stays in the hands of the bandits, it's a risk for them, for the life of these persons, and also the trauma their family members are undergoing as we speak right now. So for me, now they have told us indeed they are negotiating and they have a negotiator. I think they should hasten the negotiation so that at the end of the day, let those who they've captured be released, and whatever themselves will give government will give them for the release of these persons, they do so. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, the real gift. Okay, this will be my last caller. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Super FM.
Good morning, who's on the line?
Good morning. My name is Baridi
Okay.
Nyadom, the radio governor.
All right, the
I'm
radio
calling from
governor.
Port Harcourt.
Your Excellency, you're welcome.
Well, let me talk about the people that were kidnapped, the train victims, people that were kidnapped from the train.
Yes, please, go
Kaduna,
ahead.
Abuja, yeah.
You have a very short time, so...
Yeah, I know. Let me drop my point within 15 seconds. I think the federal government is not doing enough. Is it that they don't know where these people are? These so-called bandits. They know where they are. They should enter the bush and smoke them out. And stop all this negotiation of a thing. We're tired of all this negotiation. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much. The radio governor right there, ending the review for this morning. Well, just to put my thoughts out there concerning these bandits, especially this last caller's reaction, it's very difficult for, the military to just go in and bombard these terrorists and these bandits, as they're called. Because if they did that, they may end up killing more people than they will be able to rescue. They may end up killing more innocent people, more victims, more captives than they will be able to rescue. Don't forget, one of the ways that these bandits operate is that they use these victims as shields. They put them in front and hide behind them. So there will be terrible collateral damage, too much more than Nigeria can afford to pay for whatever salvation that the federal government may be willing and able to bring, right? But just, this is my personal thought. One of the things that I found admirable as I watched the presidential primaries of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, one thing that stood out for me, and it's one thing that I've always advocated for, is, spirit of sportsmanship. And it was evident in the way that the governor congratulated and even bowed before Atiku when their paths crossed while at the venue. I shook him with two hands and bowed in respect, and honor, if you like. And I think that we should begin to look at ways to teach our young people how to lose honorably and lose with their respect, with their dignity, with pride intact, with ego, because in the end, as someone said, only one person will win. You can't have more than one winner. So you must be prepared as a person to say, well, it's okay. I've lost this time. It doesn't stop me from trying again. Other than making comments such as, I will make the state or I will make the country ungovernable for so and so. So these are some of the ways that we can. And it starts from how we train young people, our children, how they go for competitions and how they come back, even though they're not victorious, even though they don't lift, the trophy as champions, they come back and know that they put in their best. And as much as their best, as much as their best performances were appreciated, it just wasn't good enough. So they go back saying, I will work harder, other than saying, oh, I was robbed, oh, I should have won. Even if it was obvious that you should have won, it will only be one person who would win. So this is just my thoughts. And I'm also a believer that government has failed us on many levels, at state level, at the federal level, because many things will not happen. Many things will not be happening if governments would live up or have been living up to their responsibilities. Well, thank you so much for chilling with me on the review. I'll go on a quick music break. When I come back from the music break, we will be discussing the issue. And the issue today is on the scarcity mentality. I mean, we've lived years and years of not enough. Government is supposed to do a few things for us. It's never enough. You go for a party, it's not enough. They share food, and it gets to your turn, they tell you food has finished. So years and years of enduring scarcity, of enduring lack, unemployment, things that are due you not coming your way. It gives rise to scarcity mentality. And what scarcity mentality does is, the small one that is remaining, that is there, everyone wants to clamor for it. Because guess what? A few people, a very, very minute minority, has sat down on what is supposed to be for everybody. And for me, I think someone has to be held accountable for it. But we'll find out who is to be held accountable for this one. It's still Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. My name is Obi Ivy. Don't go anywhere. It's still the Super Breakfast Show today, Monday, 30th of May, 2022.
Music for the whole family. Talk for the whole family. Entertainment for the whole family.
I don't know. This place is crack-a-lackin'.
This is Super FM.
Oh, I can hang here. I can hang here.
Nigeria's #1 family lifestyle talk and urban radio station.
Everyone needs a superhero.
You've heard about it. It's real.
It is.
It's
Super FM, Nigeria's #1 family lifestyle talk and urban radio station.
Music for the whole family. Talk for the whole family. Entertainment for the whole family.
I don't know. This place is crack-a-lackin'.
This is Super FM.
Oh, I can hang here. I can hang here.
Nigeria's #1 family lifestyle talk and urban radio station.
G. Ooh. What is that? Hey, chat. Hey, Chineke, man, who's sporting? What's that? How you take? Hello, yeah. Okay. Hello, yeah. Hey, see, for instance, say I be the one where them give chance. Say I be the one where they make plans. For all man to benefit, I be to make me disagree, to agree to create chance. But now I am not of importance, cause now I am looking from a distance. And that's why he give them the chance to do us and turn us.